paranormal. It surrounds us. It's everywhere. Tonight, you will hear from the people who live and work within these highly active locations, all in the efforts to discover America's most haunted. With your host, ghost hunter and author, Dan Terry.
Good evening, boys and ghouls. I am Dan Terry, your ghost host with the most haunted. And we're going to be sliding up to New Jersey this time. And I'm not sure. I think this is my first from New Jersey, but I'm not sure. I have to look back for 300 and some episodes. But this is going to be awesome because these people do what you and I would love to do. Sandra Foley is a third-generation clairvoyant. So grandma had it, mom had it, now she's got it. She started a ghost hunting team years ago called Twilight Passages. In 2017, she started a magazine, and that's called Fashion Haunts Magazine. Check this out. Oh, not that one. Let's try this one. So we got Jenny Wade House and all those in that one, the Bell Witch. And of course, this one. So she's got some pretty neat stuff going here. Also, when it came time for the kids are gone, she retired with her husband, Anthony, and started the Haunted Campers. And they're traveling around the country. Sold the house, sold everything, bought a camper, an RV, and they're out looking for ghosts and haunted places and enjoying life the same way we all would love to. And she's here tonight to talk about some of her adventures. Wait till you hear the EVP she sent. She sent two. One is awesome. One's really good, but man, one's pretty incredible. So let's bring up Sandra Foley. And how's the traveling out there this time of year?
Hello. Traveling in New Jersey. It's cold and snowy, but we went cross country and it was in Arizona, California, and it was like 80, but it was a different 80 than Jersey. Yes. It wasn't humid, so.
Right.
But yeah, we have a fifth wheel and a Ram truck, and we decided to just sell the house and go. But right now we're back till April. Then we're going to head out to, I believe, St. Augustine, Florida. Very haunted.
As a matter of fact, I'm wearing a shirt from St. Augustine, Florida right now from the lighthouse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So we're headed in a good direction. Thank you.
Absolutely. Got to ask, while you was in Arizona, did you get to see the thing?
The thing? No, I didn't stop.
Oh,
I know. I don't know how many times I passed the signs.
Yes.
Did you see it?
Yes, I stopped. The thing.
Okay.
I even did a show on my old podcast.
Oh, I'll have to watch that. We did go to like Yuma Prison and the Red Ghost Rider, that monument there.
Wow.
But and then we went to a lot of little places, but we were this close to stopping, but we were like worrying about the weather when we get back in New Jersey. So we had to keep going. It was like camp, eat, sleep, drive. Camp, eat, sleep, drive. So
tell you what, the place, you got to get back there. It is, of course, an old 60s style tourist trap. Sure. But they have done it so beautifully, so well. It's incredible. I won't ruin it for you, but it's a lot of fun. It's worth a few bucks to go in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hear a lot of things about it. Yes, definitely.
I will send you a link to the video I shot while I was there.
Oh, good. So, yes.
Right.
Please do.
Now, you've done a lot, and let's start out with being a third-generation clairvoyant.
Yeah, there were 6 of us in the family. We're from Old Bridge, New Jersey. My mother had clairvoyancy through dreams. And her mother, she would tell her like her marriage, how many kids she was going to have. Mine was through dreams, but not as good as her. It kind of like faded, but it's been in our family like for generations. And my brother actually had the webs born over his eyes.
Really?
Did you ever hear about the webs?
Yeah, they use. I heard them called a caul, but
yeah, but my mother had them burned. She didn't want him to. You're supposed to keep them.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, if you're born with them, it means that you could tell the future.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my mother had them burned because she didn't want my brother to have them.
Okay, have that kind of
power. It could be good and bad, you know.
A guy I used to work with a lot. He's an amazing sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
When he was a kid, he's a little older than I am, but when he was a child, his parents actually put him into a mental institute because he was seeing and talking to people that weren't there.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I can kind of see your mom's point if she's afraid other people would start saying things about it.
Yeah, yeah, but it does run in the family.
Are you in your camper now?
Yeah, this is my camper.
It looks very homey from what I see of it.
Yeah, you know, I went to, on our travels, I went to the Haunted Museum, you know, from Zach Bagans, and I just fell in love with it. So I'm starting to do like it. I'm going to turn it into like an oddity, you know, like I find all, just like your Edgar Allan Poe. I find all these like weird and strange things because I love the Victorian era, you know, and all that, cameos. But little by little, I'm going to renovate it and make it different. You know, I like different.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk more about some of the stuff you've done. Tell me about Yuma Prison.
Oh, yeah. Yuma Prison was in Arizona. That was amazing. We have that episode, all the episodes that we just started this, mind you, in October. And we just left on the road 6 weeks ago. So we went straight through Arkansas, Arizona, Texas, Death Valley. We're in Death Valley. And then we came all the way back. And my daughter just got married, right? So she's not going to have children for a couple of years. Okay. So I thought this is the best time, you know, because then when I get back, I'll probably be like a permanent babysitter.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, Yuma Prison was like really good. I met another ghost hunter in the prison room, you know, the isolated room. So it was a lot of ghost hunters there too.
Okay.
But that was what a culture, you know, the culture out there living in the desert. We lived in the desert for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Okay.
And compared to Jersey, but yeah, we did the prison, and you know, I didn't get any EVPs. You know, it's very hard to do it when there's a lot of people around.
Absolutely, yes.
So I think this time when I go to Augustine, we'll probably stay there like a month, and then I'll try to talk to people to see if we can actually investigate. You know, when no one's around.
Right, sounds good. Hope you can find someone. Now I was in the lighthouse there.
Okay.
St. Augustine Lighthouse.
Okay.
The only thing that happened, and it was a moonlight midnight tour, which I think they hold once a month.
Oh.
But I happened to be there at the right time. And my wife and I were in the souvenir shop. There was about 6, 8 other people. We're just waiting for the stuff to begin. And a stack of souvenirs just flew off the shelf.
Wow.
Nobody around it. My wife and I were about 3 feet from it. We were the closest.
Wow.
And the stuff just went flying across the room like somebody had slapped it. There's a lot of spirits there, so
did you take any EVPs? Like, were you doing anything while you were there?
I did video, and I got absolutely nothing that night, but like you, we had 16, 17 people there.
Exactly.
You can't. No, they cannot be quiet. They cannot stop talking.
No, but just being there, you're like, okay, at least you had something happen.
Yeah, I did get to see that at least.
Yeah, that was great.
Did you see anything or have anything happen in Yuma, or was it too crowded too?
No, I recorded a young girl. She was in the isolation area. You know what the problem is? I'm going to show you. I don't have it now. Oh, this is what I used for my EVPs 20 years ago. This is the first like flat phone that came out. The megahertz on this is awesome. The sensitivity. The stuff they have now, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But this is what I kept my Class A EVPs on. I kept this for 20 years. So I don't have I really have to find something good for recording. Because I've been using the regular iPhone, and since COVID, I haven't been investigating that much, but now I want to try to get into it now that I'm traveling.
Mm-hmm.
But these phones back then were awesome for recording,
The old cell phones were awesome for everything.
You believe
they could
this
reach
thing?
out farther. They could,
But
I had a flip phone, but it still worked.
I couldn't catch really anything. It's very hard. I'm going to try to find something. If you could recommend a good recorder, let me know.
We'll put it out there. I used just a couple I bought at Best Buy.
Oh,
and they were pretty good. I can't even tell you. I'll see what I can find and figure out what brand and all that they are.
I have to revamp everything, as I get back into it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, you sent a couple of EVPs from was it the Pea Patch prison?
The Pea Patch Island, yes. It's in Delaware River between Jersey and Delaware. You get a boat out there. Mm-hmm. I think Ghost Adventures was there too. It was held for Gettysburg soldiers were held there.
Okay.
As prisoners, 13,000 of them. So very high and active. I went there with my friend Barbara, and our kids were little then, like 10 years old, and we were in the tunnels. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of people around. It's different now. I think you have to go on tours now with somebody. They used to just let you walk around by yourself 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. But we were just me and her walking around in the tunnels, and then I used this and just did a couple EVPs. And we really got, I wanted to try to send this EVP to I don't know, somebody, to let them hear it. That's why I saved the phone. But they're pretty amazing.
All right. And what's the story of that island? You said there was prisoners of war.
Yeah, it got its name from what I know. A boat had crashed into it, and the boat was kind of filled with peas, produce, and they called it Pea Patch. But it was built in 1859. It's Fort Delaware. Okay. And it held 13,000 prisoners. And they were very mean to the prisoners there. From what I was reading, they would take a rat and not feed the prisoners. And then they would throw the rat, and they would watch the prisoners fight over the meal, rat. It was really deplorable from what I read about it. So there's a lot of prisoners that died there and haunts there.
Okay.
So it does have a really bad history. Now, when you hear the EVPs, you're going to hear a man's name. And we did try to research it. Maybe it was a general or a prisoner. We went into the historical room there, and they had a book with people's names, but we didn't find the name. I'm always looking at the name, but you'll hear the name just randomly pop up.
Let's see if I can hit the right one for this.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Mm-hmm. Hang on. Try again.
Okay, guys, so it took me a couple days to get into this old EVP with my old LG phone. It's got to be 20 years old. But here is I say Class A EVP at Pea Patch Island that I had taken when I was with Babs and my daughter Mary and her daughter Jen. We are inside the prison. Nobody was around us, and we were doing a little EVP, and this is what we got. You have to listen really good because it's an old phone. So it sounds like he is saying Ed Fuss. So, because you can hear that he's really close to the phone, to the EVP, to this phone, I guess. But there was no one there. It was just me and Barbara, and you can hear the kids in the background. So that's my Class A EVP.
creepy. Very creepy.
There is something else he is saying right after that. Are you hearing that?
I thought I heard, it's been 20 years, back and forth. I hear like the kids are a little bit away. I hear the footsteps, but no, I mean, I always try to see if someone else hears something. You hear something else?
I can't understand it, but there is that same voice, I think, speaks again. Hold on.
Right after fuss?
Right after fuss, he says something else, and the kids are in the background.
And then you hear the footsteps. Yeah, yeah.
I think you got more than one there, but I cannot understand it at all.
Yeah, I was thinking about sending it to like Zach or somebody, because I know he always I think he was even there, but I might do that. If you
can get it on an MP3, there's a free download called, gosh, I used to know it. Anyway, I'll have to figure that out again. But okay. With that, you can adjust the background noise and things like that. Maybe pull it out. So, darn it, if it wasn't, I'll think of it here in a little while.
I know. I'm sure. I'll think of it later.
So, what was going on at that time? There was you, your daughter.
Well, my kids were like best friends, and we're still best friends. We were standing in the tunnel, and they were down a little bit more talking. And we were just alone. There was nobody behind us. It wasn't a busy day. And I just decided to turn it on. I don't even know. Did I ask a question? I can't remember. It was so long ago. But as soon as I hit it, I'm like, who is that man? Because he talks as soon as I hit that button. And it sounded like he was right here. But there was, I'm telling you, I'm not lying. It gives me a chills when I talk about it. Now and then the other one was the same thing. And my friend Barbara, as you walk around the place, she doesn't have her phone anymore, but she got a figure I think it was the kitchen area where they used to make the food for the prisoners. She got a figure of someone walking past her child.
Oh, wow.
And that's where I got the second EVP. But her phone is gone. She never was able to save that.
That's a shame. And I understand when I started back in the 70s, all that stuff lost over the years. I wish I could go back and listen again because I know what to listen for now. I didn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even in the 80s and 90s, I've got stuff that you can't even hook up to anything anymore. That particular software don't exist.
Oh, yeah. That's why I kept this phone. I'm like, I'm keeping this.
I don't blame you. All right. Let's see. I want to play that other one. And this was after the one you just played. We just played.
Yeah,
right?
We were walking through the tunnels. And when you're done with the tunnels, you could walk around the village or whatever, the place where they used to eat, the yard where they used to do recreation. So this was like in the kitchen, next to the kitchen. I guess it could have been like where they ate, but it was just like a big empty room,
Okay. All right. Let's see what this one does.
Okay, guys, I found the other EVP, Pea Patch Island in Delaware, Jersey. I just forgot about this one, but you can hear us walking around the prison, and then you hear someone say, "Talk to me." Listen very carefully.
It's wild.
Yeah, so that one, that also was very creepy. It sounds like this spirit followed us around the prison. And then I can't remember. It had to be like over 15 years ago. But this is a really good EVPs on this phone. And I can't believe it's still working. So if you want to check out Peapatch Island, Delaware, New Jersey, I don't know the hours. It should be opening up in the spring.
That's wild. Maybe it was following us.
Okay, once again, I'm still thinking I'm hearing something afterwards.
Oh, yeah?
Let's play that again, but after that,
Okay.
I think I hear the same voice again. I may be wrong, but let me check.
Yeah. Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's saying a name.
Oh, yeah.
Did he say Holly?
Something with the E. I was going to say
Yeah.
Anthony, you know?
And it might
Yeah.
have been. It might have been.
And now
Let's try.
after that, you could hear my friend Barbara, I think, talking
Uh-huh.
a little bit. But right after he said that, it sounded like E.
Same voice with it sounds like a name with an E on the end.
Yeah. Holly. Oh, yeah, it could be Holly.
In the spring.
Yeah.
It's not Holly. It's a different name. Boy,
Anthony? I don't know. It sounds like E something.
it does. And it very well could be. But he's directing that word, talk to me, to one person.
Yeah.
So that's one of the best I've heard. I love that one.
Me too. I've got a couple more, but like at East State Penitentiary, but I lost those. And the Sun Inn, we were in the Sun Inn in Pennsylvania, but those were the best I've ever gotten.
That one there just blows it out of the water. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So, have you been to the state prison in Missouri, the old Missouri State Penitentiary in Jefferson City?
In Missouri?
Yeah.
No, I'll have to maybe stop in my travels.
That prison got its first prisoners the same week that the Alamo was being fought over.
Oh.
And it was a working prison up until the early 90s.
Okay.
Early 1990s. And I have gotten so much good stuff there. You just need to check that one out, because I think
we have to get together. Maybe if I go there, we could meet and have like I can't say coffee. I don't drink coffee. A glass of wine or something.
There you go. No, I lived in Missouri most of my life, but other than when I was in the Coast Guard in New Jersey.
Oh,
but
cool.
now I'm living in the mountains of North Carolina. I moved here about 5 years ago.
Oh, you're in North Carolina now. Oh, good.
That's
I
where
have
I
family
retired.
there.
Oh, okay. We're on the western side near the Virginia border. So northwestern side in the mountains.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, anytime you're in this area, let me know.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've been there, been to the prison in Yuma. I, being an ex-cop, I'm really into the jails and prisons. I've done a lot of those. Have you done any others like that?
The prisons, no, we only did Yuma, which I really didn't even consider it was an investigation.
Right.
And then we did Peapatch Island. We did the Sun Inn. We did like the VFWs, New Hope, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Very, very haunted. East State Penitentiary. I've been there, but I got EVPs there. Oh, Burlington Prison. I did an episode. That was pretty good. I did that with Seekers Club of the Paranormal, a very nice group. That's on my Twilight Passages YouTube page. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting one, the Burlington Prison.
Okay. So you've
did you ever hear of it?
I've heard of the Burlington Prison. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, that was good. I got a couple of them. It's been a while. I have to actually look back. My memory's going,
Oh, me too. Sandra, I'm going to have to stop for just a minute, run a couple of commercials. Would you hold on back? And I will be right back with you.
Okay.
Oh, guys, to be able to just travel and see all these things would be awesome. But I am so understanding because I've been to these great places that I really want to do more in. But because of the time and what's going on, I take the day tour or a big, huge group of ghost hunters. And again, they can't stop talking. They're nervous. I get that. They can't, but it ruins everything. And the energy just kind of dwindles down. I know in some places with enough people, it really gets busy paranormally. But sometimes they just shut down. There's just too much going on. The best I've ever done was sitting alone in a cell on the 3rd floor of A Hall down at the Missouri State Penitentiary, or a cell with 2 other people in an old county jail in Herman, Missouri. Amazing stuff that way. Speaking of amazing stuff, there's a couple things here I'd like you to check out, and we'll be right back with Sandra in a moment.
The Unx Network presents a health and wellness spiritually based brand of hemp-derived CBD products made by Hopewell Farm in Harrogate, Tennessee. We apply our Cathara energy work with all of our plants and products. Our products made in small batches with only 2 ingredients of pure hemp, full spectrum crude oil, and coconut-derived MCT oil. Third-party lab tested for potency and legal THC levels with 6 strengths of 1 ounce oil to choose from. Know what you're buying and get what you pay for from Hopewell Farm. Applied directly to a specific area, Hopewell Farm topical salve in 1 ounce and ½ ounce sizes made with pure hemp crude oil, comfrey extract, and all natural ingredients. Find the Hopewell Farm link and coupon code on the Unx Network website at unxnetwork.com. That's unxnetwork.com. The new book, How to Research a Haunted House by paranormal investigator Margie Kay and professional researcher Violet Wisdom, is now available from Unx Media. This one-of-a-kind book explains how to do research on a house with uncommon methods and resources used by historic home researchers, and how to determine who may be doing the haunting and why. How to Research a Haunted House can be used by homeowners, renters, investors, and it should be in the library of all professional paranormal investigators. Get this unique book at unxmedia.com or amazon.com. That's unxmedia.com or amazon.com.
Tickets are now on sale for Rebels of Disclosure 2025, May 12th through the 15th in Grafton, Illinois at the beautiful Pierre Marquette Lodge and Conference Center. This will be a 4-day event with 12 speakers covering topics such as ET contact, experiencer testimonies, lost history, secret space programs, time travel, Illuminati, parallel realities, and so much more. Visit journeytotruth.online for more details.
Tyler Koala, who is putting on the Rebels of Disclosure conference, has been my guest here a couple of times. And let me tell you, he's got an amazing history of his own researching things that has got him defunded off YouTube and several other channels. It's got him threats. Some other stuff has happened to him from mysterious people. So he's on to something, and we've talked a lot about giants. We've talked a lot about the secret space fleet. Might be worth checking into. Check out some of the old shows, or check out Rebels of Disclosure this year. It's pretty awesome. But I want to get back to Sandra because, like I said, she's living the life I wish I could, just getting out and traveling and seeing all of this.
You still can.
I still can.
You're still young.
When we set up our retirement, which is when I had this house built here in the mountains.
Yeah.
We had it all planned out, and then the economy went to hell.
Yeah.
And that kind of ruined it. So eventually I'll get back to it. But St. Augustine would be good. Where else do you plan to hit this year?
Well, after that, I haven't looked into the haunted places yet, but I know I want to go to Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
And then I'm trying to think. It all depends. Like I'm mixing like haunted things with family. You know, we have family in Florida, family in Virginia. Of course, Virginia, there's a lot of hauntings.
Oh, yes.
So I know Mount Rushmore, and I have to make a plan. But I know definitely after like this, we'll probably be leaving like April 10th. And then I'm going to start researching where I'm going to call ahead if I can actually get into places.
Okay.
And do like a quick investigation myself. Sometimes people are friendly, you know, and
oh, yes, very much.
You don't have a big crowd with you, you know, and things like that. Maybe I could. I know what I do. I work out like a little deal. Like I'll put you in the magazine. I'll self promote you. If I could just come, you know, check it out at night, you know.
Well,
so
let me
there's ways,
suggest.
you know, you just have to have the time.
Let me suggest you check out West Virginia.
Yeah.
The Moundsville State Penitentiary, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Okay.
There's a place there where a guy has two old river. They were dredgers that dredged the rivers.
Okay.
During World War II, they were welded together and shipped over to Europe as a hospital for American soldiers on D-Day.
Oh, okay.
Before that, one of the dredgers actually dredged up a submerged Indian graveyard.
Oh,
they found the bones coming up in all the stuff they were pulling. So that place, it's amazingly haunted, and he would be just the kind of guy you'd want to talk to about that.
Okay, sure. Yeah, send me all the info.
Yeah,
I'm going to be heading to Virginia because my sister's in Virginia.
Well, sometime if you get back through West Virginia, God, the place is just magnificently beautiful, and ghosts everywhere. So ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, they got museums about all of that. So something to check out. So what about your last trip? You went to the Yuma, and you mentioned a couple other spots.
We went to well, the one besides doing haunted things, we also promote, like, I'm an artist. You know, I started out like I kind of combined fashion with haunted things. That's how I started the magazine. So I created masks and wings. And then I got involved with designers, and I was showing on New York Fashion Week. But while I was doing this, everybody had a paranormal story to tell. Yeah. So I said, well, it's kind of like, I'm sure you've heard of Weird New Jersey. So it's kind of like Weird New Jersey meets fashion. So I would find these designers, and some of them were goth designers, but some of them like are high fashion, and they let me use their dresses. Like I have a photo shoot coming up at the White Hill Mansion. Okay. That's also in Fieldsboro, New Jersey. So we're going to be shooting there. And then, you know, so it's kind of like putting everything together with fashion and hauntings and history. Okay. So we were in Death Valley, and very strange over there. It's totally different culture, but they're putting up a steampunk casino. It was, and oh my gosh, it's on. I just posted it on one of my shorts.
Okay.
The artist there, his name is James Henninger. It's amazing. You have to see this casino. It's not open yet, but it's all metal and cogs and gears. It's just, I like to like also interview artists and stuff. Some of the
Okay.
stuff is like, it's got to be seen, you know. But yeah, we were at Mount Jolly. That was in Arizona. Lake Havasu was the haunted London Bridge.
Oh, wow. Now, was you able to walk out there on the bridge at night?
It's called the original London Bridge
Mhm.
because it was knocked down in London, and this guy bought it and he brought it over to Lake
Mhm.
Havasu, and he wanted people to come, so he rebuilt whatever was sold to him.
Uh-huh.
It's the original London Bridge, but it's haunted because at times the story goes that while people were coming in to England, they would have the heads of warriors that had died, or people that had crossed the war and stuff. So, and then the bridge there in Lake Havasu is supposed to be having like ghosts there seen at night. And then there's soldiers walking at night. So I did an EVP there, but of course it was during the day and the place was crowded. But it's just really, really nice. Now, the original lampposts were melted down by Napoleon, his cannons. So as you go over the bridge, you'll see these old lampposts, but they were melted down cannons from Napoleon. So that was interesting. And there's supposed to be like a haunted figures there walking over the bridge. And then there's like some writings in the wall, but it is the original London Bridge. But,
Is there ever a chance to go there and see it at night?
You can go, anybody can go there at night. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We weren't able because we were leaving like the next day, so we had to like head in. But I'm sure there's several YouTube pages with people. I even think Ghost Adventures was there. Ghost Adventures is everywhere. But yeah, anybody could walk on the bridge at night. It's not like you can't go there. It has a little community, a little village underneath it, restaurants, so anybody could go there. It's beautiful, and they have like the one side is decorated like England. And then, at nighttime, people are doing EVPs on the bridge, underneath the bridge, so that's in Arizona. Arizona has some crazy stuff, it does. Very spooky.
Yeah, it's got a lot of history. Did you get around Tombstone?
No, I didn't have time. Probably next time. Tombstone, and what's the other one over there? I forget, but we'll have to visit that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where else have you been on your travels?
Well, where did we go? We went to High Jolly is in Quartzsite. We originally went there because there's a huge RV show every year in Quartzsite. Quartzsite is like the big city of mineral rocks. It's where everybody buys their, a lot of the people that are into things, they're into the stones. The culture always seems to like the same things: the paranormal, the psychics, the precious stones. Each stone represents a feeling or something. So Quartzsite has a huge RV show every year. It's a small community. We lived out in the desert. It was like $80 to live in the desert for a month. So it's very popular with RVers. But there is a legend of the Red Ghost Rider. Because there were camels there years ago, they tried to bring camels over to help in the war. There was a man that was tied to a camel and he died and he was left in the desert. So there's a history of that. So we visited the graves there. And we visited the original hotels where, there were shootouts. It's just like you're walking in a different Western movie. It's like amazing, But High Jolly is a monument and a gravesite there. It's very interesting.
What is that dedicated to something?
Now, the monument is dedicated to Hai Jolly, was a man from India. He came over with the camels to train the soldiers to use the camels in the desert, but it didn't go very good. Meaning it wasn't popular. They ended up with horses, but he was so well liked that they kept him on, and he would help the soldiers. So when he passed away, he's buried in that grave site, and there's a giant camel. Like everywhere you go in quartzsite, there's camels, because they have the history of the first camels coming over to help the soldiers. So it's called Hai Jolly Monument. And then there's the ghost of the Red Rider. He was a separate ghost, you know. But yeah, there's so much history to learn.
There is.
In Arizona. Yeah.
Awesome that you're getting to do that.
Yeah, I'm just finding it all out. When I get there, I just start researching. You know, research. The internet is great for researching, you know. And one of the places, of course, I had to go to Vegas and see the Haunted Museum. The only place that sponsors RVs is Circus Circus. Circus Circus is the very first casino. They were haunted.
I'm sure.
Yes, I didn't even know it. I said, let me see if there's any hauntings in Vegas. And I was there in Circus Circus. There was, I forget the room. I think it was room 206 in the high tower. A mother had murdered her child and herself. There's supposed to be a ghost there. And then there's another ghost clown walking around. I did an EVP in the high tower elevator. I did hear a thud and a boom, you know, when we went in the elevator. That's also on my YouTube page. But I was so excited. I was in the only hotel that was haunted. I had no clue it was haunted.
Well, I've recently done some interview with people from there, and apparently a lot of those hotels are haunted. They just don't talk about it.
Circus Circus came up, and I'm like, I'm right here, you know. So I was like, this is great. There was a lot of murders, you know, like the mob shootouts and stuff like that over there. Yeah.
And what was it? Red Fox's house. You remember Red Fox, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. My father loved him.
The raunchiest comedian in history until Eddie Murphy. But apparently his old house is still haunted with him.
I read about that. While I was there. Did someone buy it?
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's they actually stop a tour outside and talk about it.
Oh, cool.
So, and again, Vegas has so much, but outside of Vegas, there was a hotel down there somewhere that's based on clowns. Don't get creepier than clowns, man, except for dogs.
That's probably Circus Circus.
It might be, but this is way out in the desert near
it's in
Area
a
51
secluded area.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I know there's a big, more of a motel, you'd say.
Yeah,
but each room has a clown theme, and it's supposed to be very haunted as well.
Oh, see, there's so much out there right now.
Mm-hmm. Is there any place?
As much as I can.
Yeah. Is there any place that you're just dying to get to that you haven't got to yet?
Oh man, I never thought about that. I'd like to get on. I can't remember the names, but one of the ships.
The Queen Mary too.
Yeah, I'd like to get on that. Yeah, definitely.
She's out in California. Yeah.
Yeah, of course it's far, but I'd like to stay. Like I would like to stay overnight. Of course, I'm definitely visiting. Oh my gosh, Lizzie Borden, the Lizzie Borden house.
Yes. Now I've had several guests who's been there. About half say it's, excuse me, crazy haunted. The other half is like, yeah, I didn't get much.
Yeah.
Some say, well, nothing happened, but we felt the presence there.
And it all depends on how long you're there.
That's true.
You know, sometimes I was working with a show years ago, and we were there from like hours, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And we used to get some really good stuff. But like, if you're only there 2 hours, 3 hours, like, you know, you have to stay there a long time. Like, I'd like to like sleep over, you know, now that my kids are grown and doing their own thing.
Now,
So
there was a place near where I was living back in Missouri, very, very haunted as well.
mhm.
And I noticed there, because the owners kept having me come back and over again. It was a former brewery. But
Yes.
the more I was there, the more active the ghosts became. It's like they learned to trust that I wasn't going to hurt them, and they would entertain me and my
Yeah.
guests. They
Oh
would entertain
wow.
people with me. So I've noticed the more they get to know you, the more they
Mhm.
get to acting for you.
Yeah. Yeah, they get used to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our
Then,
most active one I first started is Our House Restaurant. It's an old restaurant over here in Farmingdale, New Jersey. The owner's Robbie. We did our first episode there of Twilight Passages. My kids were young, like 14. My daughter was with us. And that has, I mean, there's so much activity there. But, you know, it's hard to get in there because the owner will have to be there with you all night. But if you ever in like New Jersey, that it's a restaurant. It's from the 1700s. There's so much activity. We always get something, whether a light falls from the ceiling, or we get the orbs, or just lights turning off, cups upside down. Like, it's called the Our House Restaurant. That's where we started.
is there any place that you used to go to multiple times just so the spirits could get to know you?
Yeah, that place.
Okay.
Yeah, Our House Restaurant. Yeah. I've had parties there. My niece got married there, so yeah, they kind of know me there. It and when they renovated, they took the bar out and moved it. I don't think they like that, because I was sitting at the bar waiting for the owner. This is when it was closed. The owner was upstairs, and as I was sitting at the bar, there was a fisheye light that fell like right behind me.
Oh, wow.
And I was texting the owner at the time. I'm down here. We were talking about filming again. And the light, of course, nobody's seen it, but the light fell like right behind me while I was texting them. The fisheye came out.
Right.
So they know, like pictures falling off the wall. Like, they're so used to it, It doesn't even faze them. But yeah, we go there a lot. I haven't been there in a while because I've been on the road. But yeah, I'm excited for I also am going to stop in Key West. I have to research Key West, if anything's over there.
Let's see, what was it? The original Captain Tony's, and it's another bar now. Captain Tony's moved, but it's still a bar.
Okay.
And there's a hangman's tree that used to grow in the middle of it. It was used for hanging.
Write this down.
That would be a great place. And I don't remember what the new bar is. But
it's called.
It used to be.
West?
It's in Key West.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be called Captain Tony's.
Okay.
Captain Tony's moved to another building, and someone else opened up a bar in the old Captain Tony. This is the one Jimmy Buffett sang about.
Oh, okay.
There was a tree, and I think part of it's still there, that was used for hangings at one time.
Yeah.
How about New Orleans?
Oh, that's on my list. That's probably after Mount Rushmore. What I definitely want to see the I can't pronounce her name. LaLaurie, or
Madame LaLaurie, yes.
Yes. Yeah. I'm definitely going there. I might go around Mardi Gras. I'll see. Maybe February.
Oh gosh. Ooh,
have you been there?
Rough time. Never for Mardi Gras, but I know how crowded it gets in the summer, and Mardi Gras is 100 times worse.
Yeah, yeah. I like crowds.
They say
excitement anyway, but yeah, there's a lot on the Jersey Shore. We've been to the Jersey Shore. There was a lot of ships that Asbury Park. Very haunted.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Asbury Park has like a big boat that had crashed, and then they were bringing the bodies in, and some of the bodies were brought to. Now it's a restaurant. So we did a ghost hunt there. It was a hotel. Awesome. And then Asbury Park, like they're near Asbury Park. So they kind of shared, but they're kind of hard to get into as far as investigating.
I'm sure.
I tried a couple times, and they're not really lenient. It all depends.
There's still a lot of people that believe that's bad for their business.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And some of them charge thousands.
Wow. Yes, I've been to a few that charged a lot. I won't even pay attention to one that charges that
No,
much.
no. The
So,
only way I will go if it's like $50 or something, I don't mind.
yeah, and if it's where I could split it up among a small group of people that I trust.
That's what we did with Burlington. They
Okay.
charged, but there was like a bunch of us, and
Mhm.
I enjoyed the place. The place was good. So we all kind of pitched in, and then we filmed at the Burlington prison. That wasn't too bad. The
Okay.
Robin's Nest, that's over there. That's very interesting. Not a lot of restaurants.
What is the Robin's Nest? I'm not familiar
The
with
Robin's
it either.
Nest is in right near the Burlington prison, in Mount Holly. The owner's name is Robin. It's a restaurant that had a ghost of a little girl upstairs. We did that a couple years back. I had two young investigators with me. They were very nice. They let us film. We did the flashlight thing with the flashlight. I'm trying to think, like we smelled smoke, in the parlor. It's definitely from the 1800s with the parlor, but I believe there was a little girl haunting that restaurant upstairs.
Okay.
The Robin's Nest. Yeah. It's a little vintage village called Mount Holly over there.
Mhm.
And there's a couple buildings that were haunted. I like being in Jersey. Like there's something always around,
Yeah.
that's near,
Yes.
that's haunted,
Well, New Orleans is the same way, so you need
Yeah.
to get down there.
and
When
Florida
you do,
probably.
track down Bloody Mary's museum.
Yes.
Bloody Mary, I got to interview her once. I've talked to her a couple times. Just a wonderful lady, but her museum is in a building where there was a murder, and that
Oh.
spirits are still there. She's
I got to write that down.
yeah, definitely check out Bloody Mary. Check out the Andrew Jackson Hotel.
Okay.
Everything down there is haunted.
What about St. Augustine? I mean, I don't even know where to begin. There's so
Well,
many.
Start with the lighthouse,
The lighthouse. Yeah.
but just take one of the ghost tours,
Mhm.
and I'll try and send you because I've taken 3 of them,
Okay.
and they can direct you to some really amazing places. But it's the same. Almost every building's got a ghost story attached to it.
Yeah. I heard they're number one, and Gettysburg, of course.
Yes.
You just interviewed Chris, right?
Yes.
Rowan.
Yes, I
Great
did.
people. Because that's where my cover of my last issue
Oh,
was there. I hooked up with her.
they were
Um,
so sweet to me. They were so kind.
Oh, they're so good over there. Yeah, and
So-
that is her historian.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Allie, who modeled for me. Yeah. She's a great historian. She took us around the house and everything. And then we did the photo shoot inside.
Mhm.
So yeah, they treat you very nice over there. I want to go back and do the orphanage. She said I actually want to go back and she said we could do an investigation in the orphanage.
Uh-huh.
You should come.
Let me know when you're going to be there, and if
Yeah.
I got enough notice, I'll take some time off and we'll meet up. Because
Yeah, I'll bring all my gear, and I'll bring my video guy.
they keep pushing me to come and be there. They told me 3 or 4 times I was always welcome with them.
Yeah, they
So-
welcome everybody there. They're so
I
good.
bet.
Yes,
Well,
they love everybody.
You be sure and let me know when, and
Okay.
we'll see if we can't get there. Okay, Sandra, I gotta shut it down, but you've been a delight. Thanks for coming
Oh,
on.
thank you so much.
Good luck on the magazine, and let me
Yes.
know if there's something really exciting you're doing. We'll bring you
Yeah,
back. I
we're
want to hear it.
the next issue's probably coming out end of spring.
Okay.
We'll probably be focusing on all the places we visited,
Mhm.
and probably the White Hill Mansion. And
Yeah.
we might even start our own podcast. I was thinking of starting our own podcast. So maybe
Okay.
you could be I can interview you.
Just let me know when. I'll be glad to help.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much. And
Well,
I'll
thank you.
post this.
All right, and I will send you those links and some more information. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right,
Have a great
take care.
night.
Thanks again. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was fun. Very interesting woman. I really enjoyed that. Hey, just real briefly, guys, I want you to remember to join the UNX network. Go to unxnetwork.com, drop down, fill it in. You can be a member of that. There is a cost to some of the more, where there's more stuff to get. But I know you get copies of the magazine emailed to you every month. You can order them as paper, but the magazine comes to you every month. And these particular magazines, this was about a year ago, but the one on the left, I had 2 articles in. One was on the haunted battleship North Carolina. One was on Halloween legends. And when I'm talking Halloween legends, I am talking some, when I was a little kid, they used to say cults were going to kidnap blonde-haired, blue-eyed children on Halloween and sacrifice them. That was such crap, but there's always a kernel of truth. They would warn us that there was razor blades in the apples and poison in the candy. Again, there was truth to those stories, but not like they were telling us. And I've got information and wrote an article on it there. The most recent article, though, has a story I wrote on dolls. And anyone who knows me very well knows that dolls creep me out. But it just goes over some of the more famous haunted dolls and the condition some people have where they fear dolls. And I think I've got that probably a terminal case. But anyway, magazine comes into you. If you're a member, join up, check it out. There's also the X-Con every year. This year's X-Con, we're going back to what we used to do. The first year was COVID. We did it virtually. We've done 2 since then in person, really great jobs, great speakers. This year we've decided, due to the cost of fuel, hotels, food on the road, all the stuff like that, we're going to go back and do it virtually again. So there'll be a virtual X-Con in October. A lot of speakers, interesting stuff. Get on unxnetwork.com, check it out. You're going to enjoy it. And now I'm going to have to step out and say goodnight, but I want to thank you guys for all being here. I want to thank Sandra for being a guest. That was fun. It really was. And I think the most important thing I can ask of you guys, stay spooked. Good night.